Hello and welcome back to Simpsons Spin. My name is Tristan and I'm here with my co-host Nate, and today we will be covering Holidays of Future Past, Season 23, Episode 9. So we're covering this episode because this was actually supposed to be the last episode of The Simpsons. So basically, during this time, Season 23, views for The Simpsons were going down, the quality of The Simpsons was going down. So Fox told their voice actors, basically, we can't keep paying you what we're paying you, which was like $400,000 an episode. So basically Fox was like, either we'll cut your pay by 75% or we cut the show. So the voice actors realized that there probably wasn't going to be a good outcome where they could continue to keep making episodes and continue to get paid what their work was actually worth. So they created this episode, seeming to be the last episode of The Simpsons and kind of a good bookend. But eventually a resolution was able to be made and Simpsons was renewed for its 24th season. So we start this episode with The Simpsons doing a holiday picture, but then we get a montage of them doing their holidays pictures for the next 30 years, as this is a future episode and there's a time skip 30 years into the future. In the future, Bart is a deadbeat dad and is currently living in Springfield Elementary. Lisa is married to Milhouse and they both have a daughter named Zia. Maggie is a rock star and is due to give birth very soon, and Homer has given up drinking. Bart, Lisa, and Maggie are all gonna come home to the Simpsons house for Christmas. Here we find out that Lisa and Zia don't have the best relationship, as Zia rather spend most of her time online than in person. Bart and his two boys don't have the best relationship either. Bart and Lisa then go up into their treehouse and talk to each other about their shortcomings as parents and where they wish they could have done better. And we get a very sweet moment between them where Bart says that Lisa was always the one Bart wanted to be.
Maybe it's the court-mandated sincerity chip I got in my brain, but Lisa, you're the person I always wanted to be.
And that's just a really impactful scene. Lisa then decides to follow Zia into the internet and basically finds out that Zia does in fact respect and look up to her mother. Homer then takes the boys to go see Grandfather Simpson, and Homer tells the boys that sure, Bart might not be a good father right now, but he really does love them and one day they will miss him.
Why did you bring us here, Homer?
To prove a point. Everyone thinks their dad's a jerk. And everyone's right. But when you get older, you realize how much you love him. Your dad may be a little immature, but I know he loves you, so you ought to give him a chance.
Bart then says that he's sorry for not being there for the first part of their lives and says he will try and be a better father for both of them. The episode then wraps up with The Simpsons giving one final holiday Christmas picture, ending this episode just like ending the first episode. Alright, Nate, so you want to take it away?
Absolutely. Let me start off by saying I really did enjoy that ending of like the parody of ending the way the original did. That was very nice. Honestly, if this had been the last one, probably would have been disappointing. But I mean, it's a well put together episode. It's heartfelt and very funny at times. I like the little joke about Ralph being like just some series of like endless clones that are all killing each other through accidents because he's an idiot. It's pretty great. Couple of fun details about this episode. First of all, there's the classic. Everybody knows the classic trope of The Simpsons predicting the future, quote unquote. Obviously, a lot of that's been exaggerated. It's been a stretch, but this one is considered to have predicted the metaverse with the online space that you can plug yourself into that Lisa's daughter has seen in a lot. And it's also, in my opinion at least, I realized this while watching it, that Bart is going up to the treehouse rather, and you can see in the background there's a couple of what I think are the stars rearranging themselves to form advertisements, which could be related to the fact that people are now using like drone fleets to form advertisements in the sky at night, which is really weird. I don't like that one bit. There's nothing I can do about it though. Another quick thing, there was originally going to be a joke about the Springfield nuclear power plant meltdown, but it was cut due to the Fukushima nuclear plant accident in Japan, which happened pretty recently, like to the episode's release. So that's pretty wild from me here. I like the avoidance that they use to make sure that Maggie can't talk during the episode. That's a classic for all of the future episodes that they do. There's for some reason that she can't talk, some reason or other. I think I got nothing else. It's well put together. It blends the humor and emotion pretty well. Yeah, good episode.
All right, so like Nate said, this is a very good episode, and I think it's a very fitting end to The Simpsons. Obviously, if this was the end, it would not have pleased fans simply because there are so many fans of The Simpsons and they all want different things, and there's just no way to ever create a perfect final episode to send off The Simpsons. But with that being said, this is a very, very good episode, and usually the future time skip episodes are not canon to The Simpsons timeline. Like a good example is the one where Lisa becomes president. That isn't canon to The Simpsons timeline, but the showrunners and the writers specifically went out of their way to make sure that this future episode was canon, and that just cements it into The Simpsons timeline that this is the end of The Simpsons, you know? This episode also got a sequel where basically it picks up in the future with Bart, Lisa, Homer, Marge, Maggie, all of them just doing their daily lives. And I think that really brings up a interesting question of when will The Simpsons end? And I really hope they don't end anytime soon, because I truly think that we're in a new renaissance almost of Simpsons episode. With any show going as long as The Simpsons, obviously it needs to grow and morph, you know, it can't have the same exact formula for 30, 40 years, you know? And I feel like the 20 to 30 seasons are kind of growing pains where Simpsons had to go from what they were into what they are now. And I feel like that evolution has kind of come to an end and finally given us some really good episodes, because like season 34 and 35 are very, like, a lot of the episodes in there, I stopped watching them and then I was like, I really enjoyed that. That was a good episode, which I really didn't say for seasons 20 through 30 very much, you know. There were obviously one or two, but yeah. This brings up another good question of, should The Simpsons do a permanent time skip into the future? And this has been seen on forums and Reddit pages that I honestly think that they should, because the characters in The Simpsons, they stay the same age, but the time keeps going on, you know, they keep living in the present day. But since they can't, the characters don't age, I really feel like they can't go on with the characters very much. They can't tackle more adult themes or adult storylines because, I mean, they're in like 3rd grade, the kids are, you know? So I think if The Simpsons were ever to do a spin-off or a new show, doing a time skip into the future would be a very good idea. But overall, I absolutely love the idea that the beginning and end of The Simpsons are both Christmas episodes, even though that's not true and The Simpsons is continuing to be made. But I just really like that idea because The Simpsons is a show about family and Christmas is a time for family. But overall, this is just a fantastic episode and I have nothing more to say. How about you, Nate?
Yeah, I think about the ending of The Simpsons, I do kind of agree with you. I think that, like, because, I don't know, I have a lot going on, but when I'm, like, bored or there's just nothing going on and I need a break, I might throw in a newer episode and I'll just be like, that wasn't bad. I feel like comparing newer episodes of The Simpsons to, like, I don't know, like a season 6 episode of The Simpsons isn't really fair. The show's changed so much in formula and style that it's impossible to really, I'd say really almost consider these as the same show. I feel like people have all sorts of lofty ideas, like people on the internet and such. I honestly don't know how any person could sit down and say, here's how The Simpsons is going to end. It's one of those shows that feels like it's impossible to really end. Yeah, that's all for me. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, have a good one.
All right, so thank you so much for listening, and we will be back next semester pumping out some very good episodes. And we thank you for listening until the very end, and this has been Nate and Tristan in Simpsons Spin. Thank you.